Greetings, hello, welcome on in, Unoptimized Fool from the closet. Glad you could be here. Let's talk about Season 2 of World of Warcraft. Now, why am I talking about Season 2? Well, it's because they now have a ranking system of all of the classes being played inside of Season 2. Now, again, this doesn't mean this is the total amount of classes. This is just like end content, level 80, participating in mythics, right? And this is low-end mythics and high-end mythics, okay? Now, I wanted to bring this up because, again, it's always good to get some insight of some data on what people are playing, for this expansion, right? And obviously, we already talked about Season 1, right? And how Evoker was at the bottom. And now with Season 2, there was some changes here and there. But again, I want to talk about the lowest DPS that's, represented on this chart. Again, their DPS, by the way, isn't the lowest DPS on the charts. It's actually mid-tier, but the playability, like how many people play it, is at the bottom, okay? And that is, again, Evoker. Evoker is at the bottom again. Now, again, Evoker was introduced inside Dragonflight. This is the second expansion that the Evoker is, participating in World of Warcraft. And now, even you can be Evoker, like, for example, actually, no, sorry, that's Drakthir. Sorry, I was thinking about something else. But Evoker is the least represented class in this content. Now, what gives is people not enjoying the content? Honestly, you know what I think it is? Evoker plays so differently from all the other classes. Evokers are they remind me of like Demon Hunters, but with an extra like flavor packet on top of it, right? They have a lot of movement, and they're a support class. You have Augmentation Evoker, right? They're supposed to support other DPS. I don't think their role is going to go away at all. I think there'll always be need for Evoker, but Evoker, I think, is the most foreign class to World of Warcraft. All the other classes play like World of Warcraft. Evoker kind of changed up the playstyle. Again, it's the first support class that they've ever added. Now, obviously, in the future, probably maybe Midnight, definitely the Last Titan, we'll definitely see another hero class be introduced. And I say hero to put that in quotations. That's just kind of how they called it back in the day when they first introduced Death Knights, and then they introduced Demon Hunters, and now, obviously, we have Evokers. So we've only seen 3 additional classes inside of World of Warcraft since its addition. Now, the cadence of how we get these have increased. Actually, no, sorry. I'm forgetting about Monk. Obviously, Monk was added in Mists of Pandaria. And I don't know why I forgot about Monk. But Evoker, and again, Monk was well received. Demon Hunters are well received. Death Knights were probably the most received out of them all, just because they came out during a very popular time of World of Warcraft. And Mists of Pandaria too, I guess, was very popular as well. But we are due for another, hero class to be added into the game. Now, what kind of hero class are we going to be looking at? And I think that we'll never see another class like Evoker again. One, because obviously we just had a support class, and we probably won't see another support class. But seeing its popularity with the population of World of Warcraft on the high-end level, at level 80 and Mythic Dungeons, I don't think we're going to see a class like Evoker again. I think we're going to see more standard game, standard playable characters and classes, just like Death Knight. You have Monk. You have Demon Hunter, right? And Demon Hunter was kind of special, right? Because it was kind of like a rogue, but a little bit more movement, right? So again, I just wanted to talk about how I don't think Evoker is popular enough for us to have another class like Evoker. That kind of changed up like how we feel about classes, especially support. I don't think we'll ever see a support again. I mean, maybe 6 or 7 expansions later, and maybe we'll see them try again. But I think Evoker was experimental, and I don't think it paid off, right? I think it's less than 4% of people who play Evokers. Again, they're not the worst DPS. Obviously, Augmentation is the worst DPS, but again, a support class isn't supposed to be at the top of the DPS, right? And the other spec, again, top of the head, don't remember the name of the spec, it is performing about mid-tier, which is not bad. Again, it's outclassing some DPS, but it's obviously not the best, but it's still mid-tier, which is still good. But again, the playability wise, it's like under 4% of players represent this class, which is definitely a very small margin, especially for the newest class on the block. Usually, think about Death Knights when they first came out, Monks when they first came out, Demon Hunters when they first came out. They no one wanted to play anything else. You know what I mean? So we definitely probably need to go back to our roots with this type of stuff. But I just wanted to report in on this data because, again, every season this data comes out, and I hope to see Evoker kind of crawling up the list, but it doesn't seem like they are. And but yeah, I want to hear your opinion. Obviously, I have an Evoker that is an alt, but I don't really play them. I just level them to 80. They're fun. They're just still a bit too twitchy for me, a lot too much movement. I don't like Demon Hunters in that essence too, but I prefer my Demon Hunter over my Evoker just because it does a little bit more damage. So, but yeah, I want to hear your opinion, guys. Thank you for listening on in. I appreciate you. I am Unoptimized Fool from the closet. I'll see you guys next time.